Hi all and welcome to a Path of Exile video build guide for 3.22. I have just finished testing this build in PoE 3.21. I started off in solo self-found standard, got all the way through to Act 4 as you can see here, and then just transferred over into standard so I could just use some jewelers and crimes to sort out the links, which in a league setting you should be able to do relatively easily. I was doing this really quickly. I wasn't checking the vendors when I was leveling up. I was using a standard leveling league starter, so I'm not showing various things that I would normally pick up because I don't really need to pick up stuff. So that's the basis of this character, but the build works. There's nothing wrong with it. It levels all the way through to Act 4 perfectly fine. I have tested this beyond that earlier in the 3.21. I did it in solo self-found. I got it to Act 3 in solo self-found hardcore, and I also leveled it up in Crucible League for a little bit without using trees, just playing PoE. So that's the basis of the build. Basically it is a lightning arrow artillery ballista raider / Deadeye. We level as a raider, and then when we hit maps we switch to a Deadeye. I know that's a lot of orbs of regret, but that is the only respec. We do one big respec just before we start mapping, and it shouldn't take you too long to do that because you can just keep yourself as a raider, run into Norm Lab, kick its ass, get to the end, then spend your orbs of regret, 5 per point of ascendancy, so it should be 15, maybe 20 if you've already hit your Lord's Lab, and then respec into a Deadeye, and off you go. This is the same point you'd pick up all your mapping gear and do a slight tree respec. So at Act 4, this is where we're at. We've got this helm that we got with Sniper's Mark, Frostblink, Live Tap, level 1, and Mark on hit. As you can see, it is level 38, so I am over leveled. I just wanted to hit level 38 so I could show you in the game the gem setups. Now, these are our boots. I got these in Act 1. That one. There we go. I've been playing too many different games. I've forgotten the what is it? Oh, there we go. Sorry, I forgot. I've been playing too many games. I've been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate 3 and all the keys are different. So as you can see there, item level 11. They got him Act 1, maybe beginning of Act 2. I'm not quite sure, but that's where they come from, and I just used those all the way through. Whacked on some fire resist in the middle of Act 2. Act 3 for Gravicious, just to get that fire resist up, and in here we're holding precision and purity of elements. We've got this belt that we found on the floor. We've got these gloves that I threw an essence on that I found in Act 1, I think it was, and these have got frenzy, mana forged arrows, ensnaring arrow, and power charge on crit. Obviously this gem is not going to be doing much until we invest, but I picked these up as a 4-link and threw the essence on there. This is what we got. So yeah, well, it's an end game gem that we need, so we might as well start leveling it as soon as possible. This is the bow I found on the floor. Again, threw an essence on it, which I had, and lightning arrow, added cold damage, elemental damage with attacks. I've tested both of these and I still don't know which one's better. I personally prefer Greater Volley. It's learning from Beta Mage. It's about the feel of the play, and while leveling, Greater Volley feels better for me personally. If you prefer LMP or GMP or even Volley, your choice. You just want to get those more arrows, so whichever one you prefer, that's the one that's going to go in the 4th link. And we just got this ring, this amulet, and yeah, this is the 4-link chest I got. This carries our artillery ballista with elemental damage with attacks, increased critical damage support and added fire damage. Now, there's very few gems we get as a ranger that can actually buff our artillery ballista, and these are the best of the worst until we unlock Lily in Act 6. And as you can see, I've not used Lily to pick up gems. These are only gems that you can get as a ranger through your normal playthrough, so I don't think you have to go and do library or you know, trade. You can if you want to trade to get better gems, that's completely your choice. If you want to go into the library, you can do. I'm not sure what's in the library because I never do it personally. I think it's a waste of time. So anyway, there's that. I found a Val side area in Act 3, managed to get a corrupted rain of arrows. I had 5% quality on there, so I used that to craft my Here's Bite. I already had the shark tooth arrow. I already had the rare onyx amulet ready to go, and I had an orb of chance. Thank you to the relevant strongbox whose name escapes me at the moment that I found running through Act 4. So that's how that came about. And then in the offhand, we've just got this axe we've picked up for Trinity, and we're leveling that in our offhand. It's the only offhand gem we actually have to level in Act 4. So that's the basis, and then we've just got some basic flasks we picked up. This was identified from the Act 2 quest. So yeah, the Act 1 I sacrificed to get 10% movement speed on these 3-link boots. I just prefer, on this run actually I haven't had any more quicksilvers to sacrifice to get the 15%. Usually by this point I've got 15 or 20%, but that's just me. Anyway, so that's what it looks like at Act 4. Let me bring over the POB I've been working on today, and POB is now updated for 3.22. It was doing that as I was working on it, so this is fully updated for 3.22. Here we go. So I've done my usual, not as in depth I usually do because I'm just out of time. As you can see here, what I've done, I think there's 3 trees I've done. Act 1 to 6, 6 to maps, and then the map respect. Now Act 1 to 6 we do, as you see, we go for a raider and we go for onslaught at Normlab. And what I did is I came down for primal spirit because it just makes sense to get that strength and intelligence until you get to maps where you can start getting the attributes on your jewelry / belt and wherever else you can pick it up. But to level 3 you're going to want primal spirit to get that mana, increased mana, strength, intelligence, and because you're using a mana flask a lot, you'll get that 4 mana per hit. I went there first. I came down here, so this is how I leveled. I came through here, down here, picked up primal spirit first, then the life, come through here, got this life, and then came up here to get this life. Then I got this elemental damage, then I went up here to get this stuff here, and then that's where I stopped because this was around about Act 4. Obviously you can then go through to Act 6 and get all this lot. When we get to maps, we still have relatively the same. We're picking up all of the nodes that we can get without using the uniques we need. So we're going to have a look at skill. So Act 1 and 2 we have this set up: galvanic arrow, puncture, in a ballista totem, frostblink, or your movement skill of whatever you want to use. I prefer frostblink, sniping arc, and precision. Precision gets to level to 5 until you have later on, until you've got enough mana to level it up. So precision goes to level 5, then you pick up your other auras later on, and that's when you can see if you can level it up any more or not. So we do end up with our Herald device in Act 2 to give us that DPS. The boss DPS, or single target DPS on this character, is a little low. So when you're on single target, if you've you might want to switch out the extra arrow, the LMP, or whatever you're using to get the extra arrows, which is Act 3 to 6. When we switch over to lightning arrow, we then add in LMP. You might want to take that out for boss fights. I managed to go through. I died once on Dominus and once on what's his face at the end of Act 2, which I can't remember, that thing that comes out the ground, him. But that one was mainly because I got sidetracked by my cats. They wanted a bit of a cuddle, so I leant down to stroke them, and I wasn't watching and got smashed in the face. But other than that, it was fine. I had to pour out for I ran out of flasks fighting the second part of Dominus, where you get the bleed, run out of life flasks. So I just dropped a portal, ported out, got the life flask refresh, and ported back in. So Act 3 to 6, we are in 4 links. This is how they look. Apart from the Siege Ballista, as I said, it gets a bit hard to get that 4th link in there. Then we got our Mana Forged arrows. That's quite easy to do. Then we take out Herald of Ice as soon as we pick up Purity of Elements in Act 3. Then we go Frostblink, Life Tap, Sniper's Mark, which is quite nice. Item wise, I've just got 2 sets because I just didn't have the time to flesh it all out really. So if we just change that now, so leveling wise, you just want the best DPS bow you can get, and then the rest of the gear is pretty much whatever you need to get the colours of the sockets you need at that time. We are preferably stacking armour and evasion, but as you can see on my character, I went with energy shield and evasion, so it was easier to get the socket colours I needed. This dropped as a 3-link. I 4-linked it. I forced 4-linked it when I got into standard, and I was very lucky to get that 4th green. I didn't use any chromes on this at all. It was literally I 4-linked it using the craft bench, 4-socketed it using the crafting bench, then 4-linked it on the crafting bench as well. So that was really lucky to get that 4th green, but this would normally probably be a evasion and evasion armor evasion, or armor energy shield base, because you're going to have to get an off color socket whichever way you do it. But you do have 2 green, so the one that it's going to have evasion it to help you get that green. I've lost POB, there it is. So that's the idea, and I've given you a base idea. So you're looking for life and resist. I have not put any stats on these at all. You do want an Agat Amulet as soon as you can for that strength and intelligence, and then once you start to get into Act 5, you can get the Amethyst rings, and then try to get whatever you're missing on those. The guideline is one focuses on intelligence. You can use the crafting bench, bearing in mind in Act 6 in the wetlands you can get level 2 crafting bench stats. You have to go and find it. It is a little bit off the beaten track, but I advise you go and get that just to help you out get the stats, or just don't level up the gems. That's another way to do it. And then the heavy belt there is just to help out with the strength. If you hit the strength on other things, you can put a life belt in there, or to help with stuns you can put a crystal belt. It's leveling gear. You get you get whatever you get dropped, or you can trade quickly and easily for. Pretty much leveling to me is almost solo self-found until you get to maps, and then that's why when I start trading, everything else you're just selling for currency to get gems or sort your gear out as quickly as you can. Life flask, again, whatever preferred life flask with your preferred mods is what you use. Quicksilver flask, try and roll for that suffix movement speed. If you don't get it, don't worry about it, just use the 40%, it's good enough. Save the time on rolling, save your currency. Jade flask, granite flask and sulfur flask. Pick up the jade flask in Act 5, granite flask Act 7, sulfur flask in Act 10 I think. Normally I'd put it in there, but you can look it up on the wiki which ones are from what quests, but it's the jade flask you want first, and then sulfur flask, just have to be careful whether it's Act 7 or 10. Yeah, just be on the lookout for that, or just wait until you get to maps and then buy them from trade. So that's how we level, and then again we get to maps. So we then picked up all the travel nodes, all the nodes we possibly can get without actually going into uniques, and then we go to 6+. Now you can Val, if you're lucky enough to find and want to do the Val side areas, you could get Val orbs. You can also get Val orbs from other things. You may even get currency from the League mechanic if they've put that in there. I just don't know. or you can just get one from trade. Either or, Vol Lightning Arrow is the way to go. And then these are your 6 links. Oh, in the notes section, which I'll go to in a minute, I've put the order in which you want them in. This was just copy and pasted from my endgame POB I have. Same for the auras. Determination you can only get in Act 6, but purity of elements and precision you've seen. Again, the precision, just be wary of your mana. Don't level it past level 5 until you've got determination in, and go from there. There's your artillery ballista setup. There's your mark on hit and travel skill, whichever one you want to use. And then there's a mana forged arrow, frenzy, inserting arrow, power charge, and crit setup. And that is Act 6 plus until you start getting into the end game where you can buy alt quality jewels, etc. On to the end game. So in this one we respec. Oh, sorry, I've got those 2 points don't go in there. Not sure where they go. I will fix it before I copy this out for you. Do not worry, I will get it done. What a mistake. Anyway, as I was saying, then we get into the end game. Now this is where I've included all of the alt quality gems and any awakened gems which benefit us. So we're looking for 2020s everywhere really. If you want to corrupt them, do so, but I'll show you why we don't do that in this particular version of the build, or in my version of the build, I say. And I know awoke elemental damage with attacks is expensive, but it is BIS for the build, so have fun trying to get one of those. Same with divergent inspiration. I mean, this is kind of big budget. And enlighten as soon as you can. I pick mine up usually on day one. Previous leagues are about 30C on day one at level 1, and then you can just level it up. It'll take a while if you're running a heist. Then look out for the counter thaumaturgy contracts, and you can get gems out there, quality gems out of those contracts to put on to get your GCPs to then put the quality on your enlighten yourself, and then it'll level up. And if you start running Jun, hopefully you can get Torah in research quite quickly, and it'll be level 3 in no time. And then that's where we help with our mana issues. And then that's when you can level up precision up to level 20, and there's the relevant alt quality. Ballista, again, a second awakened elemental damage, awakened ele focus. They're usually not that expensive. Divergent inspiration, again, I know some of these are expensive. It just depends how much money you want to spend in this build, or whether you just want to use it for leveling, getting to maps, making a bit of currency, and then re-rolling into whatever your preferred end game build is going to be. There's a setup for that one. Again, the movement skill is completely your choice. I know some people prefer using the flame one, whose name I've forgotten. But that is an option as well. Just change your colours around or whatever. And then our mana forge. No alt qualities, or this is the cheapest setup because you get all of these gems by Act 2, I think, and you can just level them all the way through. That is the cheapest setup we have. On to our items then for level 70 plus. I'd suggest just not doing this until level 70, because a lot of the uniques we're looking for are level 68, 69. So it's just easier to stick what you've got, and then once you've killed Act 10 Katava or hit level 70, that's when you do your respec. There's nothing stopping you picking up the gear before that, but you want to try and get all the uniques, or at least wear the uniques all at the same time, so you're not messing around with your resists too long, which ultimately will slow you down. So level 70, we are looking for a Trinity Elemental DPS bow. I've just thrown something quick together. I don't even know if it's that good. I put it together in about 10 seconds using POB. I just crafted the item up there. Same for the quiver. I just whacked that together. Ideally, you want the more arrows, the better on this build. And then just damage and life on the quiver. Crit chance is, it's whatever. This is why we're not using corrupted items, because we use Vol's Vision. We get the max life if no equipped items are corrupted, and we generate 400 life per second if no equipped items are corrupted. And the enchant apparently is the best one. I question that decision, but that's what my research led. I did only research it for about 10 minutes, so you go for each one. Perhaps a Mana Reservation one would be better, but again, your choice. Heres Aya, Zodiac Leather, I love this Heres, and because we're a Deadeye, that 30% chance to spell suppress is needed. This one's not calculated properly. Again, I will sort that out, but we do cap out on spell suppression chance on this build, and that is based on getting 30% from Heres Aya. If you want to use a rare because you're awesome at crafting or you want to buy one, again, that is absolutely fine. Alter the build to your preferences. Comb Spirit, it's an amazing set of gauntlets for this build. And we get the Rage, which does tremendous amounts of things for the build. Boots is rare, and that is set there. The resists are, again, I've just popped those in there. I'll fix it, but basically it's life, movement speed, and then whichever resists you need to cap. Yoke of Suffering is absolutely awesome, as you can see there. And the enchant, sorry, not the enchant, the anoint, I will pop on before I release it. So many mistakes in this one, I apologise. Then we go for the taming for obvious reasons, and then the other ring is we do need some intelligence, but that is, I think, just for, that's not one right one. I think the intelligence is just for Frostblink, if I remember. Yeah, it's just literally for the 2020 Frostblink. You don't have to level that up to 2020. In fact, if you are using Frostblink and you want to run, well, you can't run, then just leave it at whatever level you have intelligence for. I just use my characters. This is based on a character in standard, and I like to level all my gems for what is called the Glittering Challenge. See my weekly updates regarding that. So if you're not using Frostblink or you don't want to get it to 2020, then you can easily drop that int requirement down to about 130 for the Awakened Elemental Focus, bearing in mind if you have that gem. Other than that, it is just going to be resistance and elemental damage with attack skills plus life. Same with the belt, life, elemental damage with attack skills, whether you get it on the belt or you craft it, that's fine, and some strength. The strength is for the level 20 determination. And the Ideal, again, it's not supposed to be life regen, it's supposed to be life. Oh my days. I'll correct it, don't worry. Flat max life, and then intelligence if you're aiming to get a 2020 Frostblink, or whichever stats you need. A life flask of your preferred, experimenter's quicksilver flask of the cheetah for the increased duration and movement speed, and then whatever enchantment you want on there. The idea is we don't get hit on this build, so extra charges when being hit is not a great idea. So you probably want to go for increased duration. Because we've got purity of elements aura, we don't need any wow, I forgot what it is. I've been playing too many other games. We don't need any elemental suffixes on there, so it's increased attack speed on the Jade Flask. Granite Flask is more chance to freeze, shock and ignite, and then Sulphur Flask is for leech or whichever other preferred flask. This one is really swappable. If you want to thwack a unique flask in there, you can do whichever you preferred. There's a phasing flask or whichever other flask. I've got a gold flask on mine, just because I'm running a lot of maps that have got loads of mobs in, etc. Then the cluster jewels, we come down for the bow large, feed the fury, fuel the fight, martial prowess and regen. 2 crit gems, pressure points, quick getaway, int and quick multiplier. Again, the int is there for the Frostblink. If you're not running that, you probably won't need it. Crit 2 is pretty much the same with some chaos resist. Again, the int is there for the 2020 Frostblink. Watcher's Eye, chaos resist, because I like to cap my chaos resist and it's about the only way you can get it. And then crit multiplier while affected by precision. This one's quite expensive to get. but again, it depends on your currency and how much you want to invest. Line eyes, because you need all those lovely melee modifiers turned into bows, and then the mastery is to get culling strike if you crit, so you want that. And then the thread of hope there is to pick up 6 passives, which I'll go into the tree in a moment. And then if you have the cash, if you have the currency, you pick up the focal point forbidden gems, and then that is all of the gear. As for the endgame tree, there we go. So this is what we're up for. We pick up projectile speed there. We take this mastery increase and reduction speed applied to damage with bows. We take the crit to unique monsters there. We take the 25% chance to treat enemy monster damage resistance values as inverted, which is awesome. I know it was bugged, and they know they fixed it, but it's still nearly 30k DPS, so 8% increased damage for each aura or herald skills affecting you. We have 3, so that's 8, 16, 24% damage. Lovely jubbly. There's all the cluster jewels set up, as you can see, and that's where we put the forbidden flames. You don't have to use these if you don't want to. You can put other different ones in there from different ranger trees, or you can just put 2 rare jewels or whatever jewels you like in there. It's very malleable, this build. There's our lionized jewel, picking up that, and there is the dagger mastery for crit strikes, have culling strike. And that's it. I will tidy up the POB before I put it in the video description. Let's log on and show you my endgame variant. If you want to, my profile is public, Garth412, so you can just pick it up from there, and it'll be in there. Please note that I do have a legacy Quicksilver flask because this is in standard. I believe it's the only legacy item on here. Pretty sure everything else, yeah, it's the only legacy. I've already changed my Yoke of Suffering from Vengeance Crusade, because that Vengeance Crusade won't be in 3.22, so I've already changed it over to Disciple of Slaughter, which is the one we are going to be using. Other than that, it's all pretty much the same. 2020 gems, it's obviously enlightening is level 3. That's my bow. It's not great, but it does the job, and I'm wearing a headhunter on this character. I haven't got a map pre-prepared, so let's just roll one now. Arsenal works pretty well for this character. Variety, curse of vulnerability, elemental reflect, no. Enfeeble, accuracy, no. Life, crit, cannot be stunned. Armor, yep, that'll do. I'm not going to use any of these because I don't usually do that on this character. I'm trying to level it up, and as you can see, I'm only 20% into level 96. So let's go. We've got an Alva mission. We've got Syrian Exarch progress. My Atlas passive tree is a 3.21 Atlas passive, if I can remember the control. There we go. There's a snapshot of my Atlas passives. If you want to grab it, you are welcome to do so. You'll have to pause it and figure it out in the 322. As it is changed already on the planet, it won't be relevant, but that's what I have on there. Right, off we go. Metamorph has procced, which is awesome. I love Metamorph. And we have Harbies. I love Harbies as well. I'm on the wrong filter. I'll change that in a minute. Let's just get this Harbie down first. There we go. Almost logged out. I did that once. Lost all my headhunter buffs. There we go. Off we go again. Our Quicksilver flask is about to run out. Again, please note I am using a legacy Quicksilver flask, so you are not going to be going this fast on your builds. Actually, is working surprisingly well, considering I haven't got Vengeance Crusade on here, and they've nuked that to oblivion. Yes, thank you. Strong boxes. Yeah, we'll go strong boxes. And go over here, drop that. You're dead. Dead. Got my buff. 5 headhunter buffs. Nice. You could turn this into an Omni build if you wish, but that would require a lot of changes because it's not set up that way. There is one missing. Don't know where you are. Let's open up pathways. Got 18 seconds left. Best to use the stone, then get the extra creature because the loot is definitely nerfed is what I meant to say. Our Quicksilver Flask again. Go for the shrine. There we go. I'm gonna go and kill the boss while we've got some headhunter buffs. Wait for the boss to appear. There it is. Are we dead? Right, off we go. Activate our Quicksilver Flask and go and tidy up the rest of the map with the Alva missions. Maps is better than having the Omni Master with minions. Just kill that, see if we can get any more headhunter buffs, but when we go in. Arsenal is not a great map for speed, but it is nicely stacked with rares if you don't mind a little bit of running around. And because I normally am not that much in a rush, in standard I have time. Let's go and unlock the apex. Just the one, just add the one. There we go. Wait for the loot to drop. Oh, double jack in a box. Nice. That could be anything. Could be a mage bud. Whee! Still haven't got one. I've used over 6,000. Oh, what's her name? Expeditionary rolls since she got nerfed, and about 10,000 before she was nerfed. So I'm on 16,000 rerolls for a Mage Blood. Gwenin, that's her name. And on about 15,000 chance orbs. Plus, I wouldn't even like to count how many maps I've run looking for one. Oh, procced again. Nice. No, 6 socket. Pretty good. I 4/6 link my armors, so I do need quite a lot of jewelers and fusing, so my 6 sockets stay on permanently. I didn't corrupt the map, that's why it's so easy. Dang it, I knew there was something I forgot. Sorry about that, peeps, but it is still a T16, how can go, which is kind of what we did. We just had to roll off a couple of mods that we can't run. Which generally I'm understanding is the preferred method of rolling maps these days, is just Alk and go. So technically that's what we did. Oh, take that one. One more Alva, yep. What have we got? Armor left. Get the rarity up. See if we can get a jewel from the boss. Haven't had one in ages. Usually run Alva on this character, and then I run Jern on my Inquisitor RF, trying to get to level 100. And then my other characters roll other things. Did I get one? I did. Where are we going now? Up. In a previous, I think it was 320, I had Alva fully spec'd into. That was quite fun for a while. Oh, drops. This is why I have banners on everything, so if I'm running away, 40 monsters remained. Oh well, it's standard, that'll do. Let's summon the Metamorph. Yeah, we've got everything. Take that. Always go for those. Yeah, why not? It won't show. That one. No headhunter buffs. This is going to be horrible. Yep. No headhunter buffs. I was too slow. Oh well. I'm not going to go again on this character. You can see how it works. I will log on to another character and get it killed. But that is essentially the build. Unfortunately, wasn't a great showcase because I died to the Metamorph. I didn't have headhunter stacks in this build. The way I'm running my build, it kind of relies on the headhunter stacks. So that's a build I'm hoping to run if I league start. I say if, there's a 90% chance I will league start this time around because it looks interesting and fun. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this one. I will link the POB once I've fixed those issues in the description below. Have a great time. Once the Crucible merges with Standard, I will do a live stream for that because that will take a couple of hours. I hope to see you there. If not, I'll see you in another video. Hi all, just a little post-edit update. I forgot to go through the promised notes section in the video, so here that bit is. On the POB linked below, you'll find quite a well-written, well in my opinion, quite a well-written notes section. This literally walks you through. It tells you here what colours to look for while you're going through the act, what gems to pick up after which quest, and then what your links should look like at the end of each act, with whichever's leveling in your offhand as well. And that goes through Act 1, Act 2, down to Act 3 with some unique options if you're in Trade League. If you're in SSF, good luck, hope you drop one. Down to Act 3, and then Act 4 we stop because in Act 5 you don't get any new gems, and then once we get to Act 6 you go and do the Lily quest first of all, and you can pick up the gems if you've got the currency, so you know what currency to look for to get all of your gems. And by this point you may have picked up a Vile Orb or two, so you can get your Vile Lightning Arrow, or you may have done some Vile side arrows. Additionally, we need a golden, which is spelt wrong. There we go. Verdant and amber oil for your amulet anoint, so you know what to look out for whilst you're mapping, or what to buy from trade if you're going to go down that route. And you could turn this into Omni build. I've never done it as an Omni build, so I'm not sure how it will work out, but if you want to try that, good luck. Headhunter, spelled incorrectly again. Wow, so many mistakes in my POB. It's because I rushed it. Mage Blood as well would work well on this build, like any build really. With the corrupt implicit in gear and or gems, you will need to replace the helm, because the helm we use specifically states maximum life / life regen if no equipped items are corrupted. Now the life regen turns into rage regen, which gives us so much benefit for having high rage but not actually using it, so that's a good thing. And then the the 10% increase in max life as well is also kind of cool, because this is a low life build. You really do have to get high tiers of life on your gear. Now in the gameplay you saw my character was wearing Headhunter, and normally if I'm going fast enough, I just don't die because of all the Headhunter stacks. Unfortunately, I didn't look at the modifiers that I was putting on the Metamorph, so no Headhunter stacks plus Giga Juiced Metamorph, and then I died. But anyway, there's the promised note section and a little bit of an update post edit.